Three suspects accused in a high-profile Mercer County murder go before a judge and answer to the charges for the first time.
Some of the most devastating flash flooding in the history of Kentucky occurred 1 year ago, and it all started right here. Coming up, we'll take you to Johnson County and show you how the Flat Gap community is recovering.
I'm Danielle Nottingham in Dallas. Coming up, President Obama calls for unity as the city of Dallas honors 5 slain police officers.
This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. 3 Mercer County teenagers charged in the murder of a classmate went in front of a judge for the first time today.
And for the first time, we got a look at the 16-year-old accused of shooting and killing 17-year-old Tristan Cole. A grand jury indicted Trent Easterling for murder as an adult. 2 18-year-olds are also charged in the case. WKYT's Phil Pendleton was in court today for their hearing. He has our top story at 5.
All 3 suspects went before a judge for the first time. All 3 suspects had not guilty pleas entered for them in a case that the victim's family says has been extremely difficult as they try to figure out exactly what happened that day and why.
Trent Easterling is only 16, but he is charged as an adult in the murder and robbery of Tristan Cole. His case had been sealed in juvenile court, but with the indictment, he's now in adult court. And this is our first look at him there.
Trying to find the answers and why somebody would do something so harmful to somebody that was so nice and kind and loving.
Police say Cole was shot and killed and his body was found near a barn on Deep Creek Road in April. Megan Sims and Zachary Lay are both 18. They're charged with tampering with physical evidence. Police say they tried to help get rid of the gun used in the murder. All 3 pleaded not guilty. Tristan Cole's cousin questions what relationship Tristan had with the 3.
He had a good heart and he was trustworthy. He was trusting of people. He didn't see no harm in anybody.
Megan Sims and Trent Easterling will be back in court a month from now for a status hearing. Zachary Lay's attorney asked for more time. He'll be back in court in about 2 months in September. In Mercer County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Easterling is in a detention center, but both Sims and Lay are free on bond. One of the Lexington twins charged with sexually abusing boys during the 1970s has pled guilty. Today, Jerry Cassidy pled guilty to 9 different counts of sexual abuse when he was a Boy Scout leader, as well as possessing child pornography. His twin brother, Jack, pled guilty in October and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Jerry's guilty plea was postponed several times because of his failing health. Cassidy's sentencing is being postponed until a pre-sentencing hearing can take place. Sentencing is tentatively set for September 2nd.
Well, the rain has definitely moved in, but will we have any severe weather moving our way? Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, about that. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sam. I think it's more in the way of some locally heavy downpours over the next several days. Yes, basically where we have been over the past couple of weeks, minus a lot of severe weather. Temperatures, another big story out there today with the rain-cooled air. Comparing now to 24 hours ago, we're roughly 10 to 14 degrees cooler, with a lot of low and mid-70s showing up into central and eastern Kentucky. Some pockets of upper 70s out there. Defender Radar Network tracking some very light showers that are left over into parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky. But overall, the rain train, at least this go-around, is beginning to weaken out just a little bit. Lexington Metro, maybe a sprinkle or 2 out there. Thunderstorms western Kentucky have already dumped better than 5 to 6 inches of rain in a few areas. A lot of that will weaken before it ever gets into central and eastern Kentucky. That hour-by-hour future radar is still suggesting an isolated shower thunderstorm this evening, but the drying trend settles in as we go deeper into the overnight. When I come back in just a few minutes, we'll focus on a forecast that does include more in the way of thunderstorms. Guys, new hour-by-hour forecast in a bit.
Chris, we will see you then. Thank you. Tomorrow marks the 1-year anniversary of devastating flooding in Johnson County.
4 people died when high water washed away homes and roads that day. The Flat Gap community was hardest hit. Today, WKYT's Mike Lennon returned to Johnson County and talked to a flood survivor.
Terry Stapleton has lived in Flat Gap his entire life.
This October will be 58 years.
Before his father passed away a few years ago, he said something to Terry that stuck with him.
One of these days, Mud Lick will run hill to hill. Boy, was he right.
This is Mud Lick Creek. Looks pretty calm, right? because this is what it looks like normally throughout the year. Stapleton says he's seen it rise up and out of its banks in the past and into his backyard, but he's never seen it rise as high as it did a year ago.
The floodwaters quickly made their way into Terry's home. The house broke apart in seconds.
And there's about a 20 by 20 piece of my roof, flat. I jump on it, and away I go.
Terry says he woke up almost a mile from his house. He was reunited with his wife, but not his dog.
I would catch myself hollering, Maggie, Maggie. She was a house dog, a teacup Yorkie.
It's been 1 year since the flood, but Terry, his wife, and his 2 dogs still live in Flat Gap, at the same spot, along the same creek. And he wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm sure I would go on and adapt somewhere else, but I know nothing else from Flat Gap. I was born and raised right here.
Terry says the flood has made him stronger and taught him a valuable life lesson.
There's hope. There is tomorrow. I mean, we're not promised tomorrow, but if there is a tomorrow, there's hope.
In Johnson County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Officials called last year's flash flooding a once-in-a-500-year event. It caused damage to a 10 to 12-mile stretch in Johnson County. Part of the Louisa Walmart in Lawrence County reopened today. The store was heavily damaged by an EF2 tornado that hit Louisa on July 4th. Now, this morning, the grocery store and pharmacy reopened. The rest of the store is not expected to be ready for another couple of weeks.
New at 5, the University of Kentucky Police Department has issued a crime alert after a string of burglaries this summer. UK police say the thief is stealing textbooks from offices. Investigators say someone broke into an office at the Greehand Journalism Building yesterday. Offices in Castle Hall were hit twice last month. In all 3 cases, textbooks were stolen. Similar thefts were reported last week at Eastern Kentucky University. President Obama paid tribute today to the 5 police officers killed in the line of duty in Dallas. He says the recent violence has exposed the deepest fault line in our democracy, but that Americans must reject such despair.
Danielle Nottingham has more on the Interfaith Memorial Service from Dallas.
5 seats remained empty to honor each of the fallen officers at the memorial service in Dallas. Dallas Police Chief David Brown introduced President Obama, who expressed his condolences to the families and the entire Dallas community.
We're here to honor the memory and mourn the loss of 5 fellow Americans, to grieve with their loved ones, to support this community.
President George W. Bush, who lives in Dallas, also paid his respects.
With their deaths, we have lost so much. We are grief-stricken, heartbroken, and forever grateful.
The officers were killed Thursday by Army veteran Micah Johnson, who opened fire during a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest.
There's no greater love than this, that these 5 men gave their lives for all of us.
President Obama is said to have worked on his speech for much of Monday, hoping to send just the right message to a nation concerned about violence and racial tension.
I'm here to insist that we are not as divided as we seem. And I know that because I know America. I know how far we've come against impossible odds.
Before the service began, applause erupted when some of the injured officers made their way into the auditorium. 9 officers and 2 civilians were also injured in the attack. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Dallas.
President Obama met privately with the officers' families after the service.
Less than 2 weeks before the Democratic National Convention, Bernie Sanders finally says Hillary Clinton won the party's nomination. Sanders endorsed Clinton at a rally today in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. He said while it's no secret they disagree on a number of issues, he would do everything he could to help make sure that she becomes the country's next president.
She will be the Democratic nominee for president. And I intend to do everything I can to make certain she will be the next president of the United States.
The Clinton campaign can now go into the convention with a party race down to 1, shifting the focus from the primaries to the general election. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is in the final stages of picking a running mate. Trump was in Lexington yesterday for a private fundraising event at the Aviation Museum. He also campaigned with Chris Christie yesterday and met with Indiana Governor Mike Pence today. Trump told the New York Times he has narrowed his list of vice presidential candidates to 2 people and that no one knows who those 2 people are.
Kentucky State Police destroyed a large marijuana growing operation yesterday. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Breathitt County. Pilots with the state police marijuana suppression unit spotted dozens of plants growing in a field near downtown Jackson. KSP called in Jackson police to help. Police say there was a makeshift campsite in the field, but no one was there. In all, police found and destroyed 107 marijuana plants. And in Laurel County, a semi lost its load of beer after an accident early this morning. It happened around 3 near the Pilot truck stop off of US 25. Kentucky State Police say the truck was headed east when the tandem axles came off the trailer, causing its load of Coors alcoholic beverages to spill out onto the roadway. The driver was not injured.
A Lexington woman injured after she was thrown from a popular Gatlinburg thrill ride. We'll have details coming up in about 10 minutes.
And helping pregnant women deal with stress. The details later in Better Living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A little on the soggy side out there today for many of us across central and eastern Kentucky. Tropical humidity back into the mix as well. Those 9 live sky cams that we're looking at kind of featuring that tropical looking sky into much of the region. Looking to eastern Kentucky where we are still dealing with a couple of raindrops yet to the west of us. Interstate 65 corridor, more in the way of at least a little partial sunshine. We look back on what mainly fell out there today into central Kentucky. Couple of pockets of greater than 1 inch of rain already, and across southern and southeastern Kentucky over the past couple of days we've had general 1, local 2, and even upwards of 3 inch amounts showing up. Western Kentucky says that's nothing. Early today into areas southwest of Owensboro, better than 5 to 6 inches of rain just since midnight. Defender Radar Network, central and eastern Kentucky, things are looking a little better, though some thunderstorms trying to fire back up between Owensboro and Bowling Green, and anyone's going to be fair game for a scattered storm as the evening wears on. Short term, though, it's an improving radar across central and eastern Kentucky. Still a couple of sprinkles or a very light little misty shower into the bluegrass region. Then we watch and see what happens with the thunderstorms out to our west. Still flash flood warnings that are out for parts of western Kentucky. And the air continues to be juicy ahead of a cold front that can fire up additional rounds of thunderstorms over the next couple of days. Tomorrow's one of those days to where rain is going to play a big factor in the temperatures where you live. That's always the case. Tomorrow, outside of any thunderstorm, you can hit 90. If you get enough sunshine. With a shower or thunderstorm, a little cloud cover, those numbers stay down. 3-day threat track. What you see is what you get. Not going to rain all the time. It may not rain all 3 days where you live, but if it does, it's going to come down at a pretty good clip. And by later Thursday, cold front is on top of the area with some gusty showers and some thunderstorms. Heavier rain's the primary threat. Not really concerned about severe weather with this in terms of a wide impact for severe, maybe a local higher wind gust, but overall that may be some heavier rains developing later Thursday. Then as we go into Thursday night, Friday, and especially early on Saturday, front puts the brakes on. That could mean some waves of heavy rain again, especially later Friday and into the day on Saturday. It is a pattern that has thrown a ton of rain our way so far this summer. And over the next week, it is likely to throw more rain our way. Every day is not going to be a washout by any means. It's just one of those patterns, guys. We are locked and loaded into a stormy setup.
Imagine the farmers trying to get out in their fields the last month or two. I mean, it's just wet all the time.
And this is now the 4th consecutive summer where it has been wetter than normal around here with a lot of thunderstorms as well.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Couple of things happening right now. Collisions on the outer loop of Man-O-War just before Nicholasville Road, a lane block there, and then over around Beaumont Center on the inner loop. Police are dealing with the crash as well. The tree's been cleared out of the roadway on Mercer near Greendale, so Mercer Road is back open. Drive times this afternoon to Clark County on 64. Nothing unusual happening there. Just check for Sales Road into Woodford County, still 12 to 15 minutes. Now back to you in the studio.
K-9 units from around the state were in Lexington today. We'll tell you why coming up.
Volunteers gathering today at a Mercer County farm where dozens of horses were found abandoned last month. More on their recovery coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
Facebook family.
We have learned a woman injured on a popular thrill ride in Gatlinburg, Tennessee is from Lexington. A report in the Severe News Messenger identified her as 44-year-old Alma Fatin. The mountain coaster remains closed following the accident over July 4th weekend. A report released by the state says Fatin suffered a head injury and multiple fractures after being thrown from the ride. The report says she was not buckled into her car and her boyfriend did not slow the car as instructed. The state says the ride was in working order, but operators failed to make sure Fatin was restrained.
A Kentucky company is laying off dozens of people. Wayne Supply Company cited the deterioration of traditional markets in eastern Kentucky and the coal industry for the cuts. In all, 87 employees will lose their jobs. Wayne Supply specializes in construction equipment. The company has 15 locations across Kentucky, including one in Lexington. The release from the company did not say when or where the layoffs will take place. Dozens of canines and their handlers are in Lexington today. They're going through basic law enforcement drills in the hopes of earning certification from the United States Police Canine Association.
WKYT's Kristen Kennedy was on UK's Coldstream Research Campus talking to handlers.
Every officer here has a four-legged partner.
Abbott is 4 years old. His birthday was Sunday.
Jason Thomas's partner is used to this training.
Every event is designed to simulate something on the street.
Certification from the United States Police Canine Association, Officer Thomas says, is essential.
When your records are subpoenaed to court for a canine apprehension or a narcotics find, you have to prove that your canine is trained and reliable and certified. Certification means that he has been tested.
Law enforcement throughout Kentucky are here in Lexington, and so are officers from other surrounding states. Officer Thomas is from Indiana.
Some are narcotics detection, some are explosive detection, and some are doing the patrol dog test. And we also do a tracking test.
Handlers get to choose the certifications for which they want their canines to test. More than 40 pairs are participating in the three-day event.
Every part of this event is done off leash. So the handler can't go grab him, he can't go put him on leash, he can't tug on him. The dog has to listen.
In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Well, again, officers from Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio are taking part in that regional testing. Next year, the USPCA will hold certification testing in Ohio.
It's been almost 10 years since Flight 5191 crashed in Lexington. How they plan to remember the 49 lives lost. Coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
Too much stress during pregnancy can increase the chances of your newborn having health problems. And if you thought your morning coffee was a little more pricey, you're probably right. Those stories and more coming up in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Being pregnant can be very stressful, but too much stress can increase the chances of your newborn having health problems. Susan Hendricks explains how to manage those stress levels for a healthier pregnancy.
Stress is completely normal for pregnant women. In fact, pregnancy itself may be one of the reasons you feel so stressed out.
It's really possible that just being pregnant could be increasing your stress. Physically, your heart is working much more than normal. It's almost like jogging, just sitting there, because your heart is pumping so much. Your heart rate's faster, so you're automatically at a heightened state.
Pregnant or not, too much stress is not a good thing for our bodies. But the jury's still out on whether or not a woman's stress level affects the fetus.
In pregnancy, it's not so clear-cut. We're not sure that that stress is harmful, although it can make your pregnancy a lot tougher. There is some data that potentially says that kind of stress can increase your risk for a smaller baby and also preterm labor.
You can manage stress in a variety of ways.
A couple things that can help, relaxation techniques, whether that's a hot cup of tea or a warm bath or learning true breathing techniques can help you.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Tell someone just how stressed you're feeling. I'm Susan Hendricks.
A new study points to what we probably already knew. Drinking more water can help you keep your weight in check. University of Michigan researchers found that adults who were well hydrated had lower body mass indexes than those who were not. In addition, people who didn't drink enough water were 50% more likely to be obese. While the study doesn't prove that water impacts the number on the scale, it does show that a diet that includes more water promotes a healthier weight. Your morning cup of Starbucks is in fact costing costing you more these days. Starbucks has increased prices slightly on brewed coffee, espresso, and tea latte beverages. The Seattle-based coffee chain says prices on select beverages went up between 10 and 30 cents today. The price jump comes a day after Starbucks announced it would boost the base pay of all employees and store managers at U.S. company-run stores by 5% or more. And you can now find airline reviews before booking your flight on TripAdvisor. The company launched the new web service today, which it says will provide users with a better way to research airfares and flights. The reviews will allow consumers to make decisions based not only on the price of a flight, but also on the total experience people have with that airline. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.